Hi everyone, Merry Christmas wherever you are. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas night and a Christmas day also, and hope you are having fun. So this is a review about the latest content released by Sector 3 Studios for RaceRoom. I'm not going to say this year, but at least till Christmas. This is the Porsche 934 Turbo RSR. A car from a Group 4 car, and a car that was highly successful in the late 70s and throughout the 80s, of course, and it's a classic. It's one of those special cars that Porsche delivered. Porsche has delivered throughout the years several amazing cars, and this is definitely one of them. So in this review, we drove the car. We first tried at the Nordschleife, but we needed some more testing and some more getting familiar with the car on that track, because this is a very special car and that is a very special track. So I just picked another special track, which is Spa-Francorchamps, and I found myself having a lot of pleasure driving this car in this track. So the content was released really close to Christmas. It costs, if you buy the car only, it costs 3.98 euro. If for instance you choose the all livery spec, you can buy this for 7.77 euro. More or less double the price, but anyway, I gotta tell you that this is money well spent. This is an amazing content. The track, the car is fabulous to drive, and really a lot of fun. Sim racing is not all about driving the latest cars, competing in real motorsports, and having the chance to say that we are driving Formula 1 cars or sport prototypes cars. Sim racing is also the ability from a sim brand to deliver content which is really close to reality, and this is what it is basically with this car. Really pure in terms of the power delivery, and this happened frequently, and it will happen frequently to everybody, because this car is an adventure all the way. But let us separate things here. So first of all, the graphics from the inside of the car and from the outside are perfect, but I do ask you to pay attention to the sound. The sound is wonderful. The sound of this car is wonderful. You can feel the echo here from this cockpit camera, the different angle of a cockpit camera. The sound of this 480 horsepower boxer engine, turbo engine from Porsche. We can realize by this sound how it's embodied, how this engine has volume, how it has a true strong body, and that is also what we feel on track driving this car. So the car is really pure, and in terms of what these guys from Sector 3 Studios tried to achieve in this simulation, I couldn't find a perfect way of analyzing this than to say it is an amazing release, because it does reflect the performance and the handling of such an iconic car. I had a chance to drive one of these cars several years ago, not the racing version, but these cars, even in the production, even as a production car, were really special to handle and were really special to drive, and this is what I felt when driving this car at Spa. So you are always having to pay attention. You are always having to control the car. It does have a really nervous rear engine, and it does have a really nervous performance. The car is always losing grip, getting grip. You have to keep controlling the wheel, trying to compensate the way the car handles every single in every single part of this track. For instance, this turn here, it's so tricky, and also Eau Rouge is also so tricky. It's really difficult to drive this car, and it's really a challenge, and it does say a lot on how this simulation is so real. So the guys from Sector 3 Studios tried to replicate the feeling and the philosophy of a true Porsche car, with the sound, with the power, and with the handling. And I gotta tell you guys, I find this truly an amazing release. It's definitely going. Pay attention to this corner right here. It's really tricky. Sometimes you just have to try and get the car there on the proper angle, but you can't. At least I could not drive this in this turn flat out, because the way the car reacts, the rear is so nervous. It has so much power, and when you lose the rear of this car, it's so difficult to get it under control again. So it's really a challenge, and it does pay tribute to every. If these guys were trying to make a simulation version of a car as close as possible from the real deal, they really paid a tribute to Porsche with this release. It's definitely one of the best cars I've ever driven on RaceRoom, and it's for sure on the top 5 of all my favorite cars currently available in no matter the sim racing platform you are analyzing it. This is definitely going straight to the top 5. So it's a challenge every step of the way, and in a track such as this one, a truly driver's track, because it has such long straights, and it's always challenging. Each part of this Spa-Francorchamps track is really a challenge, and in this car the challenge gets to a higher level. Amazing release. These guys from Sector 3 Studios should really be congratulated for what they accomplished here. Look at this. I'm always having to control the car, because the power delivery is so intense that I always have to keep. I'm always driving the car in straight line, corners. I'm always driving the car, and I feel that I'm always driving the car. You also have to be really careful about the braking, because if you exaggerate and if you try to brake as late as possible, sometimes this can happen. It has so much power from the rear that it's really difficult. Once you miss your braking point, once you lose the rear, it's really difficult to handle. So this is a challenging car all the way. And for those of you younger or older people, in age, not in the spirit, because it's just in age. If you are younger people and you are familiar with cars with a lot of driving aids, you'll find trouble driving this car. And this car, it's fun if you can drive it. At least I did it with no aids at all, and with and using the clutch always to shift. So I never tried to use this in a sequential manner in terms of the gearbox, although I could, of course, but I preferred to keep the spirit of this car from the 80s with 480 horsepower. Truly an iconic car, and a blast to drive in this sim. RaceRoom continues delivering great content. RaceRoom continues lacking some stuff that we would like to see to make the simulation more real. Dynamic weather, the rubber on track evolving, day and night, so the day evolving as it does naturally. You don't have that here, but the driving sensation is one of the best in sim racing. It does really replicate what these cars were or are when we talk about modern cars. It does replicate what they are in real life, and what they did with this Porsche 934 Turbo RSR was really something special. It was a blast to drive this at Spa. Every lap was different, and this is what you guys will feel, and those of you that were closer to the days of this car, those of you will enjoy it even more. Look at this here. I lose the rear and I try to keep it under control, always really subtle on the pedal, because sometimes you just have to go with the flow with this car. Most of the time you will be driving it, but a lot of times also this car will be driving you, and this is what makes this simulation of this car so special. So congratulations to you guys from Sector 3 Studios. Great content you are delivering to the RaceRoom sim, and those of you, I hope you go and try this car, because it is really something special. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and you can see also this content at onwheelstv.com. Bye bye and Merry Christmas.